Morning everybody, I'm Sean. Welcome to another episode of Adventuring Spiders. Welcome back everybody. On today's episode, we are now in Hoi An, and we are going to go into the old city today to do a walking tour. Only about a half day. We kind of have to figure out what we're going to do after that. Thought I would show you the view from our balcony. It's pretty nice this time. We got some gardens down here below the hotel. We got the river just in the distance, and then we got a bit of some other crops there, and probably won't show up, but there's a water buffalo sitting just below me here, browsing on the vegetation, so it's pretty cool. And the rest of Hoi An. Starting our walking tour here of Hoi An this morning. First stop is the Hoi An Museum. Just heard some interesting stories about some of the cultures that lived here early on, and one of them that was here about 2,500 years ago buried their dead in jars. And that's what we're going to go in and see right now, is one of these burial jars. Alright, so we're in the room here where they display the burial pots of the City Hoi An people. These are about 2,000 to 2,500 years old, and these are all on display here. You can see the burial pots. This one's very impressive. It's quite large. And some other pots here as well. In some cases they did cremate, and they use smaller pots for cremation. But most of them were full-size burials. This is a relatively small museum here in Hoi An, but there are some very impressive things on display. Quite a lot of history, a lot of archaeological finds. Some of the archaeology finds here aren't dated, so it's hard to determine how old they are. Continuing on to walking through here, we just hit the area where you can see all these tailors. These clothes are not for sale. These people are showing off the designs that they have. And Hoi An is very well known for going and getting a suit or a dress made, tailor-made for yourself. And you go in, you pick the material and the style, and they'll measure you, and they'll make it in 24 to 48 hours. Okay, we just entered the area here called Old Town, and it's denoted by the sign in the distance there in the middle of the street. The nice thing about this is there's certain times of the day when you can't have scooters in here, so we're gonna go exploring. Looks like a great place. This is the one of the temples here in Old City, Hoi An. We're told that a lot of these buildings in here are 300 to 400 years old, which is why it's been declared a UNESCO World Heritage City. Just a shot of a few of the shops here, just to give you an example. There's so much shopping here in Old Town. All kinds of things. The thing that we're going to come back and do tonight is we're going to come back and see it with all these lanterns lit, because apparently every single one of these stores lights up their lanterns, and that's what the old town of Hoi An is known for, is so much lantern lights. And the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to go visit a local house. This house is about 400 years old.
During the 18th century. But this house over
And
here,
it's
it
been
belongs
lived in
to a
by about
Vietnamese
8 centuries of the
that have
family.
lived here for the
Alright, so as I was saying, we're touring this house. It's several hundred years old, and we just got an update that it's 9 generations of family that live here. The lighting is a bit dark in here, but this is a little sitting area where you would eat, like a dining room. Lights are off here in the kitchen area, so it won't show up. But, we're going back to the back corner of the house here, and the owner is actually back here. Just to the very back now of the house. We got the washrooms here, we got the kitchen, and multiple kitchens actually. And we just hit the river area here in Hoi An. Very beautiful part of the city here, and there's a lot of bridges that cross over the river. And the most significant of those being this one in the distance here. This is called the Japanese Bridge. It's over 400 years old as well, and it's a symbol here of Hoi An. So it's a very, very nice area.
Everyone?
Just another example here of all of the lanterns that you see. So amazing, and I can't wait to see these lit up at night. Continuing our walk here in Hoi An, I just noticed that this location is the Department of Managing and Gathering Swallows' Nests. Now I'm wondering if that is for that soup that comes from Asia, made from bird's nest soup. Alright, this is the Hoi An market. All kinds of stalls. And we're gonna go on inside. Yeah, you can probably get pretty much anything here.
It looks like garlic section.
Trying local Vietnamese fruit. This is our third one. We just had some pomelo and good.
Bonbon. Yeah, good.
Not quite sure how to pronounce it, but we're now going to go visit a Chinese temple here in Hoi An. That's because this area was heavily influenced as a trading port by the Vietnamese, Japanese, and Chinese. And I believe this is the Hokkien Temple. I hope I'm saying that right. Just taking a quick tour here of the temple. And the most famous part of this one is these spiral incense burners that are massive. And people can put their prayers inside on these yellow cards, and they will burn anywhere from 3 to 6 months from beginning to end. And the whole intent there is that the gods will hear your prayers for that entire time. And the temple of the female Buddha, straight ahead here. And, as we've seen in many other places, pretty elaborate, these temples. With a lot of offerings. Back temple here, more of the spiral incense. There's another altar at the back, and then this fantastic dragon. Alright, now we are going to finish off our walking tour here of Hoi An with a tour of the Yali fabric factory. I'm touring a silk factory here, and they're taking us through the process of making silk. First step is to get your silkworms and get them well fed. They eat mulberry leaves, and it takes them 15 to 17 days to eat, and eventually form chrysalis, cocoon, that is of course made of silk. And then they hatch out into these moths, and then they start the process all over again. Still make many of these fabrics by hand. It's very, very nice. So we are currently on the upstairs here where you select your garments in the factory, and my wife is looking at getting some dresses made, and I am looking at getting a suit made in 24 hours, which is crazy. This one right here. Not much different, a little bit different in terms of the color, but we are trying to get select our materials, and then we select our style, and then they're going to size us. This is a great experience. I would recommend this to anybody if you want to come and just experience it alone, but then to get a suit or a dress made relatively cheap, pretty impressive.